Nope, and not at all. This is why. Night 1 of his